U.S. health officials are monitoring hantavirus exposure across 6 states here in the homeland after a deadly cruise ship outbreak. New Jersey now tracking 2 possible contacts as the death toll from the ship reaches 3. Let's bring in CB Cotton with the very latest from New York. Hi, CB.
Hey, Aisha, and there's more to track because the hantavirus hit cruise ship MV Hondias is expected to arrive in Spain's Canary Islands tomorrow. And once there, U.S. health officials will help evacuate 17 Americans who have been on board. Thankfully, they haven't shown any symptoms of the hantavirus, according to the University of Nebraska Medical Center, which is where those Americans will be closely monitored at the center's National Quarantine Unit. Doctors will be looking for signs of fever, headaches, muscle aches, and nausea. Before this week, though, the impacts of the outbreak on U.S. soil had already begun, and here's why. Because before the virus was detected, the ship's operator says more than 24 people from across the globe, including the U.S., had already left the ship. So far, health officials in at least 6 states have confirmed they're monitoring people who recently traveled on board or may have been exposed through international flights. State health departments have said none of these return passengers are showing symptoms. Hantavirus is usually spread by contact with contaminated rodent droppings. The Andes strain of the virus is at the center of this outbreak. And Fox News contributor Dr. Mark Siegel does not believe this will become a worldwide pandemic.
This virus is extremely difficult to spread human to human, and it's only this strain that does it, but it's extremely difficult. Maybe 1% of the time with close contact, repeated contact. COVID was spreading human to human about 50% of the time, an enormous difference.
So Argentine investigators think a Dutch couple may have first contracted the hantavirus while on a bird watching trip before they boarded the MV Hondias. The World Health Organization says, as you mentioned, at least 3 people have died from the cruise ship outbreak. Aisha.
Okay, CB Cotton live for us. CB, thank you very much.
We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being stuck on that ship and just trying to get home? Well, we are tracking that ship right now. It's called the MV Hondias, and it's got 88 passengers aboard, 59 crew members that are all being held and monitored for this hantavirus outbreak, and it's about to dock in Spain. For more on this worldwide scramble to track this deadly virus, we'll bring in Dr. Janette Nesheiwat. Dr. Janette, you were with us all through the COVID year 2020. You helped us, held our hands, walked us through as that spread, and we didn't know a lot of information about that at the very beginning. So let me ask you first this. What is this virus? What are the symptoms? How deadly is it?
Sure. Hey, Aisha, great to be with you today. So hantavirus, this is a family of viruses that are carried by rodents. In the United States, we have a virus strain called the sin nombre strain. And what we're seeing in Argentina and on the cruise ship, it's called the Andes strain. That's the strain that we're seeing spread from person to person. But it's important to understand that you've probably never heard of this virus before because it is rare. It has been in existence for several decades, but we don't see it often because it does not usually spread from person to person. Again, it's carried by rodents. And the way a human picks it up is if they breathe in contaminated rodent droppings, rodent urine, or rodent saliva. And again, in the United States, we don't see it spread from person to person, but we're seeing it rarely, in rare cases, on this cruise ship.
Okay.
Now, the symptoms that we see sometimes initially will overlap with respiratory symptoms like the flu, headache, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, body aches, and chills. But sometimes that can then progress to shortness of breath because your lungs could fill up with fluid. You can have difficulty breathing. You can have chest tightness. And that's why it's important, what we're seeing with the CDC, they've listed this as a level 3, which is the lowest level of urgency, which means it's not a general threat a wide public threat to the public, which is a good thing. But the CDC has, assigned a team of experts to this event that are monitoring it, that are responding to it with surveillance, with testing. But again, it's important to note this is rare. We only have maybe about 30 to 40 cases a year in the United States. But although it is rare, we do have up to about a 40% fatality rate. So it's important to be aware of this, but not to panic and just to take precaution.
Okay, well, I want to ask you about those precautions in just a second, because we've got some people who are on board this ship that are now coming back home. Some of them are already here. Let's put up this map on our screen just to show the states that currently have people that we're monitoring. And that includes big states like California and Texas, Arizona and Georgia among them. New Jersey's in there too, and Virginia, where I live. So very scary for the people living in those states. Tell me about, how long does it take for someone to see symptoms? Because as we monitor these folks, I remember with COVID, sometimes COVID wouldn't, pop up until like day 7 or 8. You might not have symptoms until a week into being exposed. So how long might these people have to be quarantined and wait this out?
Sure, absolutely. So what we're seeing on average, it's anywhere from 1 to 8 weeks where the virus can incubate and brew in your body.
Wow.
So yes, but what we're seeing with these passengers is around 17, 18 days is when the symptoms begin to show. The good thing is that when they're contagious, it's a short window of contagiousness, only about 1 to 2 days for them to be able to spread it to another person. And you have to be, with this Andes virus strain, you have to be in very close contact with other people for prolonged periods of time, which makes sense why we see it spreading on this ship. But we don't tend to see it spread from person to person, often off the ship, because this is not a virus that was built to last in humans. It was built for rodents, meaning it was adapted to survive in rodents, not in humans. Once it enters a human, usually the humans are a dead-end host. And this is because, Aisha, this virus, it's not a respiratory virus like the flu, like COVID. It doesn't live in your respiratory tract, in your throat, in your nose. So if you're coughing and sneezing, it spreads to other people. This virus, once it enters your body from inhaling contaminated rodent particles, it tends to attack and target the blood vessels, the lining of your blood vessels. And it's not the virus itself that actually causes the damage. It's our own body's immune system response that's so overwhelming that causes the damage. For example, your blood vessels become leaky, fluid leaks into your lungs, builds up, you get what's called edema, swelling, and that's when you develop what's called HPS, hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, which is a fancy word for just it impacting your lungs.
Very quickly here, I think a lot of people at home just want to know, what if I was sitting next to someone on a plane? And what if, that flight was an international flight, it was on this plane for 7 hours? I mean, the people that were, in close proximity, what are they potentially exposed?
Sure. So what we're seeing, if you were in a known close proximity to someone with the Andes strain, what we're seeing the CDC do, for example, with our American passengers, they're going to be taken to Nebraska to a center where they will be monitored. They will be isolated. They'll check their vital signs, their temperature, their oxygen level, their blood pressure. And the reason for this is if they start to develop any symptoms, we can intervene early, because as it is right now, there's no specific treatment for this virus other than supportive care like oxygen, fluids, hydration, analgesics. So if you have an absolute known exposure, there is testing available. And then if we know that you were exposed and you test positive, we can intervene quickly to have better chances of survival. And that's what we're seeing right now with most of the people on that ship. Unfortunately, we've had 3 lose their life. 2 of them were an elderly couple. That makes you wonder if you are older and if you have other medical conditions that puts you at a higher risk. But early intervention, testing, monitoring, and surveillance, which is what our CDC is doing, is the key.
Okay, Dr. Siegel says it's not going to be a worldwide pandemic, but man, oh man, my phone has been blowing up with family and friends thinking this feels very similar to COVID. It's very scary. Janette, always great to see you. Thanks for being on, Doctor.
Thank you, Aisha.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.